Welcome to Chapter 2, Lesson 2, Solving One-Step Equations. So starting off, we need some vocabulary. So when you hear to solve an equation, that means you need to find the value of the variable that makes the equation true. Equivalent equations then have the same solution. So here it says solve by adding. So we need to solve c minus 22 equals 54. So when you're solving, you want to get the variable all by itself. So you got a c with a minus 22 connected to it. So to undo the minus 22, we're going to add 22. What you do to one side of the equal sign, you do to the other. And we get c, those canceled out, equals 54 plus 22 gets us 76. 76. And so our answer is C equals 76. Now I want you to try. So solve these two and see if you get the correct answer. So we've got g minus 25. We got to get rid of the minus 25 by adding 25, doing the opposite. What you do to one side, you do to the other. 113 plus 25 gets us 138. Our equal sign's still there. We didn't touch the g, and that canceled out. So our g equals 138. J minus 87 equals negative 3. Got to get j by itself first, so we're going to add 87. What you do to one side, you do to the other. We didn't touch the j. All right, minus 87 plus 87 is 0. And that equals negative 3 plus 87 is 84. So j equals 84. Some more vocabulary here for you is the addition property of equality. So to give you the gist, if you add something to one side, you have to add it to both sides. So right, what you do to one side, you do to the other. Same thing for subtraction. If you subtract something from one side, you have to subtract it from both sides. So if we're going to solve by subtracting here, we've got to solve 63 plus m equals 79. So we've got this 63 hanging out with our m. It needs to go away, so to do that, we're going to take away 63. What you do to one side of the equal sign, you do to the other. Those cancel out, and we have an m equals 79 minus 63 gets us 16. So our m is 16. So I want you to try these two and check back with what I have. So 27 plus k equals 30. We've got to get rid of our plus 27 by subtracting 27. What you do to one side, you do to the other. Those cancel out. We have k equals 30 minus 27 is 3. Negative 12 equals p plus 16. We have to get rid of that plus 16 by subtracting 16. What you do to one side, you do to the other. Negative 12 minus 16 will get us negative 28. And that equals p, and we canceled those out. So p is negative 28. Now we've got the multiplication property of equality and the division property of equality. So just like before, if you multiply something to one side, you have to do it to the other. If you divide something from one side, you have to do it to the other. So your properties of equality are basically just saying what you do to one side, you have to do to the other in order to keep the equations equal. So here we need to solve by multiplying or dividing. So we have 2/3 q equals 1/2. So what's happening between a number and a variable if it doesn't show a symbol between it? That means that it's multiplying 2/3 times q equals 1/2. So to undo the times 2/3, you do the opposite, so you divide by 2/3. What you do to one side, you do to the other. So these are going to cancel out. We're going to have q equals. When I have fractions, so I'm going to do like a little segue over here, so I'm going to change my color so I know. I have 1/2 divided by 2/3. I'm going to have to stay, switch, flip, and then I multiply straight across. So 3 over 4. So our Q equals, come on here, 3/4. Easy as that. Over here, 39 equals negative 3r. We know that it means negative 3 times r. So to undo that, we're going to divide by negative 3. What you do to one side, you do to the other. So 39 divided by negative 3. When you multiply or divide, negatives come in pairs, so our answer is going to be negative. And 3 goes into 39 13 times. We didn't touch our equal signs. Our negative 3's cancel out. So we have r. So r equals negative 13. So I want you to go ahead and try these ones and check back with me. Remember, it's easier to just keep your fractions and work the problem out on your own. So 3/5 k equals 6. That means that we've got 3/5 times k, so we need to divide by 3/5. What you do to one side, you do to the other. Those canceled out, so we have a k. We didn't touch our equal sign. 6 divided by 3/5. That's the same thing as 6 over 1. Switch, and flip. 6 times 5 is 30. 3 times 1 is 3, which is 10. So k equals 10. Now negative 1/4 equals 2/3 b. We need to get b all by itself. It has a times 2/3 connected to it, so we're going to divide by 2/3. What you do to one side, you do to the other. So we have negative 1/4. Switching and flipping to 3 over 2. A positive times a negative is a negative. 3 times 1 is 3. 4 times 2 is 8. So we have a negative 3/8. We never touched our equal sign. Those canceled out. B. So B is negative 3/8. Now we need to solve by multiplying. So it says of a group of 13 to 15-year-old girls surveyed, 225, or about 9/20, said they talk on the telephone while they watch TV. We want to know how many girls were surveyed. So 9/20 of all of the girls. So that means 9/20 is just a portion of however many girls there were. So 9/20 of the girls, of means multiply, is 225. So 9/20 of the girls is 225. If we were to solve that, so we need to get g all by itself, so we're going to divide by 9/20. What you do to one side, you do to the other. We're going to go here. Those are going to cancel out. We're going to get g equals. We're going to stay with our 225 over 1 and switch on our 20 over 9. 225 times 20 is 4,500 over 9. 4,500 divided by 9 is just 500. So that means 500 girls were surveyed. So I want you to try and see if you get the correct answer. So it says Elise is making a stained glass window. Her pattern requires that 1/5 of the glass should be blue. She has 288 square inches of blue glass. If she intends to use all of her blue glass, how much glass will she need for the entire project? So her blue glass is 288. That is 1/5 of all the glass. So 1/5 of all the glass should be 288. There's my equation. Now to get the glass all by itself, I'm going to divide by 1/5. What you do to one side, you do to the other. That cancels out. We're going to get glass equals. We're going to stay with our 288 over 1. Switch our division to multiplication and flip to be 5 over 1. So this just ends up being 288 times 5, which is 1,440. So the amount of glass you should have is 1,440 square inches.